Hello and welcome to your 18 WJTS In.form. I'm Kaitlyn Neukam, and it's time for some tech talk here. We have our resident tech expert who comes on a more quarterly basis, but we appreciate you nonetheless, Mr. Tim Pritchett, the newly named Vice President of Technology and Innovation for Matrix Integration. So welcome back. A lot of congrats headed your way, and Matrix has been making a lot of news here lately.
Yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity. Always a pleasure to come back.
Yes, so, moving, shaking, new CEO of the company. Of course, you guys recently had a partnership happen, and we talked a little bit about that, I think, last time you were here. A lot of different stuff happening. I mean, with IT solutions and all of that stuff, it seems to be never ending, always adapting, which we will get to in a moment. But for those who may be tuning in to our In.form for the first time, talking about Matrix integration specifically, will you give us a little blurb about what Matrix is?
Sure. Matrix Integration is an IT solutions and managed service provider for businesses of all shapes and sizes in Indiana and Kentucky primarily. We're based right here in Jasper, Indiana, with offices in Louisville, Kentucky, Fishers, and Bloomington, Indiana, which is actually where I live.
Yes, and I mean, although business to business is priority, we, again, just really appreciate you being able to come here and talk maybe a little simpler terms and try to get people more educated and more aware on technology trends or issues or all of the various things that technology is. And we really appreciate it because we can talk to you and try to understand those worries that people might have when it comes to technology. But more specifically, you guys really are seeing a unique trend or a unique kind of problem arise in IT as far as the job industry goes for that. So will you tell us a little bit about, what's happening in the news here?
Sure. So what we're talking about today, it's not a matrix trend, it's really an IT industry trend, and it's not new. But as cybersecurity threats grow, as technology becomes more and more pervasive every year, we see more and more kind of lily pad leapfrogging in the industry of professionals looking, for a salary increase or a better work environment or a better work schedule and moving around. So IT staffing is really what that trend is. Lack of talent out there in the field, and the talent that is out there, it's a hot commodity. So getting people and getting them to work for a company and making sure that they're happy in your environment and your company is top priority.
Yes, I think it looks like from a Skillsoft survey, a staggering 53% of IT workers are somewhat or extremely likely to look for another job within the next 12 months, which, when you apply for a job, no matter what role or industry it is, I would like to believe, the hiring people or company or entity, as well as the hirees, are really hoping to make that job last and to, make it worth the while. But it's really interesting to see that a lot of workers, especially in IT, are looking to advance in a I guess a non-linear way, but still looking for those things that they really want, their creature comforts per se.
Yeah, I think there's two, from my perspective in my career in IT, there's really been two factors that contribute to it. The first one is just the ability for an IT professional to move around. The skills are in such high demand that it's not that difficult to move and look for a new position. There's, especially in the cybersecurity realm, there's plenty of open jobs all the time, and if you have experience and you have credentials, you can move. The other area of it, though, is tech doesn't sleep. So if you're, whether you're in a really small shop with one IT professional, or you're in a huge team of 25 or 50 or 1,000, IT never stops. And, ransomware trends typically happen, those types of horrible attacks on companies typically happen on weekends and holidays and in the middle of the night, because that's when people are sleeping. So as companies look to kind of take care of their IT people and make sure that they're in a position that they want to stay in for a long time, sure, salary is a big contributor to that. Benefits are a contributor, but that work-life balance in an industry that never sleeps, that's one of the most critical factors. Right,
and I mean, although IT does never sleep, exactly a very factual point in that, because you never know when those big cyber attacks are going to happen, but the work and life balance, the salary, that all comes with any other job or any other commitment you make in your career. So, it's more relatable, I think, to a lot of people. So seeing this shift is very, very interesting. But, where you guys are watching this trend and we're all trying to kind of navigate it as business leaders, business owners, people who work in business. What, from your point of view, what can business owners and managers kind of do to help stop people from leaving, or to, I guess, sweeten the deal per se?
Sure. So recently we kind of pulled on our experience working, and this was specific to manufacturing, but it's applicable to all industries. Pulled on that experience and looked at why is IT a stressful field? Why does it feel like people use the term firefighting? Why do they feel like they're firefighting? And a lot of it that we saw is preventable pain. It's things, I always call them things that go bump in the night. You have all these systems and stuff that happens while everybody else is asleep. And if one of those things breaks, nobody works in the morning. So we started to kind of frame it around IT serenity, like how to find this peace of mind with IT. And to do that, you do proactive work in your tech environment. So even if it's just one person, you're a business owner and you have one IT guy who's there 3 days a week, making sure that person isn't just fixing the printer that's not working, but they're also looking down the road and making sure you can prevent those things that go bump in the night from going bump. That particular white paper you can actually download on our website, go on, find it. And it's a guide to proactive care and really walks through kind of 4 pillars of proactive maintenance in an IT environment. I bring that up just to share, that's one of the biggest contributors to a sane work-life and balance is, do I know what my day is going to look like by and large? Can I go to work from a reasonable 8 to 5 schedule or 7 to 3 schedule? Or do I feel like I work 8 to 5 and then I work again from 5 to 10 and then I get a call at 3 in the morning? That's where you lose that sustainability of keeping somebody on staff.
Right, and I mean, you said the proactive kind of idea of business, and again, that really does apply to any type of business. Being proactive and proactive with your preventative maintenance is it's a huge deal. And it's the same as maintenance in a building, or again, equipment, any type of equipment that you use. If you're not proactively kind of trying to prevent or make sure that these things do not go bump in the night, do not break or anything like that, then those headaches become even less headaches, or maybe they don't even come on at all. And with IT, that's for us outsiders, I include myself in that, it is very intense and immersive for those who don't really understand it. But for IT, that's a whole nother gambit, and being able to balance that is, I guess, really important too. So, setting everybody up for success in business and career and et cetera is super important. So, how important is it for businesses to keep good IT people or tech people in their kind of wheelhouse, in their tool belt today in today's business world?
Sure. Yeah, we talk a lot about business continuity. That's the term to say, if Joe leaves tomorrow, who's going to do his work and who knows what Joe did today? And when you talk about IT, especially when you get higher up in the ranks, the people who have the keys to the kingdom can push all the buttons that make everything work or not work for a business to operate. When you get to that level, if somebody leaves and they haven't properly documented what they're doing, which in my experience, no matter how great you are and how diligent you are, you move at a pace that you can't always write everything down and take screenshots of everything. By and large, even the best documenter has some gaps. It's in their head. Right. So you have that business continuity consideration. The other piece that you have is cybersecurity concern. So when an average employee leaves, and by average I just mean a typical user, somebody who comes to work and logs into their computer, when they leave their job, it's as simple as the IT department shutting off their account. They can't log into anything anymore. As long as they didn't have files saved on a home computer, you're secure. When somebody higher up in the IT industry resigns and they had the ability to push all the buttons to make everything happen, There's, obviously consideration if somebody resigned under duress or they were disgruntled, that they could, maliciously do something. But they also have passwords to all your stuff. Yeah. And changing passwords to all your stuff is hard. I think we all know that. You get the alert, hey, it's time to change your password. Well, imagine getting that for every single one of your apps on your phone at the same time because somebody quit.
Yeah.
And that's the cybersecurity concern. So a lot of times people don't. They don't change all of those things. And maybe it's a business decision that made sense. Maybe it's a convenience thing. Hey, let's roll the dice and hope nothing happens. Either way, there are, those are just two examples of reasons why keeping IT professionals in the role and giving them a way to advance within that company is better than having people that come and go consistently.
Yes, and I mean, you find that in business for, say, people who have worked at this job for a very long time and they're getting ready to retire. And so all of those daily tasks, if they don't have it written down or logged somewhere, that has to be learned by someone eventually. So same thing with IT, you not only want to make sure that the workflow is there so that they continue to want to be there, the pay is there so that they continue to want to be there, but just also maintaining all of those things together is super important and can be tough for a business, but you see it with the younger, the older, and so managing all that is super important, and all of the integrity in that is also just immense. So, what is there anything you'd recommend, whether it be for businesses or maybe even people who are employees themselves, for retaining these employees, keeping everyone happy, anything like that, so that I think you already made a point of, if you can definitely document what's happening in a certain standpoint, so that if something were to happen, being able to have a backup plan is ideal. But do you recommend anything else to keep these employees and everyone just in harmony per se?
Sure. Three directions that I think about that. The first one is, if you're in an area where you can't find or keep IT professionals, or you can't afford to keep the level of talent you want, using someone like Matrix for a managed service provider, MSP is the term you'll see, using a company like that to be your IT department is a great way to keep that continuity. But if you're not interested in doing that, or for whatever reason, it just doesn't make sense for your business model, there's a few things you can do for employee satisfaction. One of them is to give people a career trajectory, to say, hey, if I stay here long enough and show some loyalty to the company, I can move up, I can advance to a new role, I can take care of my family in a new way, I can have a salary advancement, I can have more opportunity within here. Because what we see often is somebody won't see that track within their company, and they'll leave and go somewhere else. And they'll get the manager experience they needed, and then they'll come back to the company and say, hey, now I can be a director. You didn't give me a path, but in the meantime, there was disruption on both sides for both organizations. So it's not as simple as just, pay people more money and,
right,
give them lots of perks. That's
right,
nice. But I think that self-actualization, that, hey, it feels good to come to work. Does it feel good to work at your company? And for IT professionals, especially if you have a skill set that's marketable and you can move around, finding ways that those folks want to come to work and want to work at that company are very important. And it probably just starts with asking them, why do you work here and do you like it? So we talk about customer experience a lot, but employee experience is on the same level of importance, making sure that employee's experience is positive and that they want to be in your environment and your company, because they have the keys to the kingdom and can, make things happen.
Tim, if anyone wants information, or I know you mentioned the white paper, how best can they look for that, or what resources can they find on Matrix Integration's website, I guess, would be my next question, because you guys offer some good tidbits and whatnot there too, right?
Sure. Following us on social media is a great way to find out what's going on. That we'll take other manufacturer industry news and repost that. Also, things like the white paper I mentioned, we'll push and post through there. In addition to that, though, matrixintegration.com, come out and check out. And if you're curious about IT positions that are open. We actually have IT positions
Yes.
posted there because we are an IT company serving both IT companies and other businesses out there. So plenty of information on the website, plenty of information on social media, and we have a contact form on there if people are interested. And the white paper I mentioned is also out there. One note about the white paper, one of the themes and trends we were talking about customer or employee experience and employee satisfaction. It's commonplace in the IT industry to run into people that say, I haven't taken a vacation in years. I haven't been on I roll over my PTO and I lose my PTO every year. And that's really something that we've honed in on and identified. How can we at Matrix help people? We can help you take PTO. Like, we can get to a point where you feel comfortable in your environment to be able to leave it in somebody's hands, a professional's hands. And I think that's important for companies, big or small, to get to that point, whether it's through hiring a company like Matrix or figuring it out in-house. How can their IT professionals live a life that is balanced and makes them want to continue to work in that place and not feel burnout?
But Tim, we appreciate your time today. A lot of great stuff, and Matrix, I would hope, is going to still continue being in the news with all kinds of fun stuff coming up from you guys, and it's just fantastic to see Matrix grow and be able to hear what you have to share with everybody on our scale here at WJTS.
Awesome. As always, thanks for the opportunity.
Very awesome. Thank you so much at home for watching. This has been your 18 WJTS In.form. Again, with Matrix Integration, make sure to visit their website for more information on anything that we talked about today. And we are local people watching local people.